It is a tranquil afternoon in a garden outside the bounds of history. Sunlight filters through blooming branches. A stone bench overlooks a small pond where lilies bloom. Anne Frank, wearing a simple blouse and skirt, gazes curiously at her surroundings. From a shaded path, Leo Tolstoy approaches slowly with a gentle nod. A special discussion was held between Jewish-German girl, a writer of the Diary of a Young Girl, Anne Frank, and Russian novelist and thinker Leo Tolstoy across time and space on the theme of between the lines of light and shadow.
Are you Count Leo Tolstoy?
I was once. Now I suppose I am only a voice among many, as are you, Anne Frank.
You know me?
How could I not? Your words have touched millions, just as you wished. I want to go on living even after my death, you wrote. And you have.
That means so much to hear. From someone like you, I read your stories for children and parts of War and Peace in Hiding.
And I have read your diary. In your words I see not only innocence, but courage. Tell me, Yanni, did you know, as you wrote, that your words might become so important?
At first I wrote for myself. It was my way of staying human when the world outside was losing its soul. Later, when I rewrote parts of it, I hoped my words could show that even in the worst of times, we can still believe in goodness.
Yes. A true writer seeks truth, not glory. When I was young, I wrote of war with pride. Only later did I understand that the real power of words is not in describing battles, but in revealing the human heart, its wounds, its hopes.
So words can preserve hope?
Only if they come from a place of honesty. Hope that is forced is a lie, but the hope in your words is like a candle in a cellar. It does not deny the darkness. It shines within it.
Sometimes I felt helpless, locked away while others suffered. I wanted to do more, to speak out, to act. But what can a girl in hiding do against injustice?
We often think only grand actions change the world. But each small act of conscience, each refusal to accept evil as normal, is resistance. Your diary became a protest, not with fists, but with truth.
But I still feel like I did nothing. I didn't stop anything.
You preserved your soul in a world of cruelty that is not nothing. That is everything. The tyrants fear not weapons, but those who remain human in spite of them.
Do you think innocence is a kind of blindness? Sometimes I wonder, was I naive to believe in people's goodness?
No, innocence is not blindness. It is the refusal to be hardened by what one sees. As I grew older, I tried to return to a childlike view of the world, not to ignore its evils, but to look upon them with uncorrupted eyes.
I still believed in the goodness of people, even after all we went through. But I don't know if that was strength or just wanting to believe.
It was both. You clung to a truth even the world seemed to deny. There is a higher form of wisdom. What the world calls innocence, the soul may call faith.
Why does suffering seem to reach the most innocent people? Children, families, ordinary people? It felt unfair. It still does.
Yes, suffering often appears senseless. I saw it in war, in poverty, in my own family. But in suffering, we confront our deepest questions. It humbles us. It binds us to others. I once wrote, "Only through suffering can we become truly compassionate."
But doesn't it also destroy people?
It can, but not always. You wrote with pain, but never with hatred. That is proof that suffering need not destroy the soul.
I just didn't want the pain to make me bitter. I wanted to stay real. Did you ever find peace, Mr. Tolstoy?
Not in the way most think. I left my estate, gave up my titles, and tried to live simply. Yet peace is not a destination. It is a path walked daily, often alone.
I tried to find it too, in writing, in imagining life after the war. Sometimes I felt it, like when I looked at the chestnut tree from the attic. Just for a moment I felt free.
Then you knew peace. It begins in moments like that, when the soul, however wounded, is still able to marvel, to love, even in hiding.
They both sit in silence, watching a leaf float across the pond. Time stretches gently, like sunlight through clouds.
And the world failed you, yet you did not fail the world.
And you taught it. To look inward, to seek truth beyond power. Maybe we were both just trying to say, even in a broken world, we can choose to be whole.
Yes, and through our words, we remind others they can too.
Summary. In this timeless meeting, Anne Frank and Leo Tolstoy reflect on the power of words to preserve hope, the responsibility of individuals in the face of injustice, the strength within innocence, the meaning found in suffering, and the quiet beginnings of peace within. Across age, experience, and history, they find common ground in the belief that even amidst darkness, the human spirit can still shine, and perhaps that is enough to light the way for others.